for joining me for another awesome week, another awesome episode. This is My Best Life with Susannah Sprague. I'm Susannah Sprague. This week, I am so excited for this guest. It is my great pleasure to have Miss Brande Roderick as this week's guest. Brande, hi.
Hello.
We were chatting before the video got started, and just we'll get into it for you guys. But Brande and I have known each other for such a long time, and it's just wonderful to see your face, and I just love that you're doing this. But I want to give you a quick little intro.
Oh,
So,
sure.
so that everybody knows what you're doing these days. So Brande Roderick, she is best known for her acting career. She's starred in such movies as Starsky and Hutch, Dracula 2, The Nanny Diaries, Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horror, which I that sounds amazing. First of all, and television, Brande has starred in Baywatch Hawaii, The Surreal Life, The Celebrity Apprentice, just to name a few. In print, Brande has been featured in multiple magazines and is internationally recognized for being Playboy's 2001 Playmate of the Year. Yes,
Yes.
awesome. Welcome.
Thank you.
You
So
look,
good to be here.
thank you. You look lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was getting ready and I was like trying to think, oh my gosh, Susie and I have known each other for over 20 years, but it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. It's so crazy.
No, yeah, 20 years ago. So Brande and I met on the set of The Surreal Life, the very first season. And I wasn't on the show. Brande was on the show. Brande was a celebrity. I was not a celebrity. I was 19. I was just a kid. But
19, you were a baby.
I was such a baby. But my ex-husband was on the show with her. And so that's where we met 20 years ago. And, we've got
and you got married on the show.
Oh, we totally did. People ask me sometimes, like, oh, where'd you get married? And I'm like, on TV. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely got married on TV. That was such a crazy experience.
Yeah.
So crazy. They planned that wedding in less than a week.
I know. Isn't that crazy? I mean, yeah. I mean, it was probably a whirlwind for you. I mean, I can't even imagine.
Complete whirlwind.
Yeah.
Not what I had imagined or pictured, as a little girl,
Right.
I always wanted to be married, but I didn't, never imagined that would be the way it would, unfold.
But it was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It was so beautiful.
They did such a good job.
Yeah.
They spent like $100,000 and
gosh.
and like flew in those flowers were like imported. We had MC Hammer as, helping to officiate, and Vince,
That's like, what a dream. Like, it
was
crazy.
A surreal wedding for sure.
Surreal.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. It's still on YouTube, if anybody's, interested in what I'm talking about, what we're talking about. Yeah, it's still on YouTube, but that's how I met Brande way back then. And we've got, Hugh Hefner was a mutual friend, and we have lots of mutual friends. And so,
yeah. So the last time I saw you, I think was at a mutual friend's baby shower, I think, right? Was it Krista?
Yeah.
Christy's. Yeah. I think it was her baby shower. God, that might have been the last time.
I think that was the last time.
Yeah.
Another mutual friend, Yeah. And rarely I know this is my experience, but rarely do you find people on this journey here in Hollywood and specifically Playboy, people that are, I don't know, have the lasting depth. And I have to say that you're one of the people that that's why I reached out to you. You're one of the people that I consider to have this depth that just goes beyond like lights and cameras and celebrity and all that stuff. And that's what I'm interested in. I love the celebrity part, and you're beautiful, and you've always been beautiful, and you're like, I don't know how you're not aging at all. I want to
filters.
Yeah, filters are great. I know. Filters are great. But I'd love to dig in underneath all that, because there's this, really, there's just this human part of you that I've always been attracted to. I'm just like, you're just a good soul. And
Thank you.
Yeah. So what do you got going on these days? What are you doing?
Well, my kids, so I have 2 kids, they're 10 and 11 now. Yeah. And I moved to Temecula and bought a ranch farm, planted grapes. I have a vineyard now. Ooh. So making wine. And
now that it?
I will be, yeah. So we'll harvest this year. Prior to this, I was selling it to the wineries, but now I'm going to make my own. So we're going to harvest this year. Nice. And making a rosé. Cool. So that's, that's all fun. And
that's like a real, that's a hard work.
Yeah, no, it is. Having property, it is. It's hard work. I mean, it's definitely, ranch life is no joke.
Yeah.
But it's more of a passion project. It's just, for fun. It's something I've always wanted to do. I grew up in Northern California. Like you did, right? Did you grow up in Northern? Yeah. So it's, we're living in that world of the wineries and the grapes and so it always was like a dream of mine to do it. So
yeah, and now you get to do that.
Yeah.
And you have your boys?
I've got
you have your
What's
boys?
that?
You have your boys?
I have my 2 boys, and they're awesome. You know what it's like to be a boy's mom, and it's the best. And they're awesome and they're great. And but now they're old enough, so I have gotten shifted back into movie making, television and filmmaking, and now producing. So I've been having a lot of fun with that and getting back into that world.
That's great.
And my oldest is an actor now too. He loves acting. And so the last movie I produced was a Christmas film. And so he got to play my son in that.
Oh, I love that. I love that. What's the name of the film?
It's called Ace and the Christmas Miracle. And you can stream it anywhere on any of the platforms, Amazon.
What was that like, working with your son?
Oh, it was fun. It was like, proud, sense of pride moment, because, and they're all, everybody says, oh, he's the best part of the film. Everyone else sucked, but he was great. No, but so it was fun. And the next movie we're doing is a horror film.
Ooh, Christmas and horror. It's awesome.
What's that?
A Christmas and horror.
I know, right? Going from Christmas movie to horror film. And he was a sweet little kid in the Christmas movie. And in the horror film, we actually have him killing another kid, which is totally unorthodox. You don't kill kids in horror films. Like that's just something you don't do, but we're breaking the mold. And not only is a kid getting killed, but it's being killed by another kid. And but the kid that he's killing is a really bad kid. So
got it.
He's a bully.
Yeah. So how did he approach you? Did he come to you and say, hey mom, I want to be an actor? Or like, how did that come up?
It started when they were really young and they were just so darn cute. And I was like, oh, I better at least, try this and do this with them. Or maybe years later, they would be mad at me because I didn't try it.
Yeah.
And the little one, my youngest, he's like, tried it out. And he's like, I'm done. I don't want to do that. I just want to play football. So I'm like, okay, fine. But my oldest, he's really got the bug and he's into it. So
that's so cool. Did you have them doing things when they were little also?
We just were auditioning a lot and I was driving them to LA a lot.
Yeah.
And that was a pain in the ass. Oh my God. Because from Temecula round trip, it's like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Sometimes 6 with traffic.
Like driving to Arizona.
Like I don't want to. He was getting like 2 auditions a week. I'm like, so I was like, we're gonna need to take a break. And so we took a break, but then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And the good thing that came out of that is now all auditions are online. So I told him, I said, now you can get back into it because now we just, audition.
Yeah, it's easy. Online. You can do it from home. Yeah.
So great.
How great
best
is
thing
that?
Ever.
Yeah. Look at that. I mean, what a turn of events,
I know.
To work in your favor.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. 100%.
Yeah. So how old is he now?
11. That one's 11. Yeah.
Cool.
And your boy is what?
He's 17.
Oh, 17.
Yeah, 17. Okay. You might as well be. You might as well be 30 at this point.
Is he still in high school then?
Yeah.
Or is he? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He's homeschooled now, because of COVID, and it just got, he was in public school, and the dynamic of public school online, high school online, just wasn't working for him. And I could see it not working, and it was there were symptoms of it not working. And I was like, we need to address this, and there's no one to blame. Like, it's not his fault. It's not the teacher's fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's just, okay, let's just take inventory. Okay, this isn't working. So back to the drawing board. And we took him out and do homeschool now. And
Mhm.
the total shift in his willingness and his like
Uh-huh.
excitement to learn and just his whole general attitude
Mhm.
did a 180, because he was really digging his heels in, and he was like,
Well, what's the difference between the online and homeschool?
yeah. So the difference is that
Yeah.
he gets to learn at his own pace. He gets
Oh.
to learn what it is that he's actually interested in, not, and he becomes his own teacher. I mean, we're also his teachers, but he becomes his biggest advocate, and he becomes his like number one teacher.
Yeah. So
So
he's online still doing it, but it's through through the program
yeah, a
of
lot of it's not
homeschooling.
online. A lot of it is
Oh.
like self-study, like books and
Oh,
various other
oh,
things,
cool.
So he doesn't just have to sit at a
Oh,
computer.
right.
He's not a sit at a computer kind of guy.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least not this point. Is
Yeah.
he's a sit at video games kind of guy.
Yeah.
but sitting
Yeah.
on a, and listening to an
Right.
instructor, things like that. So
Yeah.
he's actually really just done a 180, like with his whole demeanor and willingness, like I said.
Yeah.
And it, you know, I don't care. I just have,
Yeah.
let's just get to let's reach our milestones, and let's
Yep.
do it with the least amount of resistance as possible.
Yeah.
And, when there's this whole teenage, you're about to enter into it, but this
Yeah.
whole teenage like stage is like, okay, I'm putting out this fire, and it's a whack-a-mole, and okay, this problem's come up, and okay,
Yeah.
and now he's grown into here, but now there's girls, or now they're like, and
Oh
it's
God.
just like, let me just make it through these years.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to rush through the years, but
Right.
I,
But the
I
certain stages you want to get
you
past.
do want to get past some of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So you look for ways. I look for ways to, reduce the resistance, because,
Yeah.
you can't fight every battle. So
Yeah.
yeah. And so you've got, maybe a year or two, right? Before you enter into are you getting any signs of those preteen
The only thing is
things?
they get so excited and my oldest big, Mom, look, I got a hair on my ball. And I'm like,
Oh,
what? Like, so I get my glasses and but
that's awesome.
honey, I'm sorry, I just don't see it.
See it? Yeah, that's awesome.
But he swears it's there.
He swears it's there.
But
And then he wants to share that with you.
yes, because he's excited, but
He doesn't have anybody else to share it with, I guess.
no. And then he got a pimple on his nose. The other day had a red thing on his nose. He goes, Mom, I don't know what this is. I go, honey, that's a pimple. He's like, I got a pimple? And I was
So
like,
excited.
yeah,
It's awesome.
it's so funny. These are things us girls don't get excited about,
No.
but
No,
so
but it's like the coming of something, right? It's like the anticipation, like, ooh, this means that I'm, entering into that
into manhood.
yeah, bald hair and pimples. That's great. Well,
Uh,
he's got lots of that in his future, so
yeah.
he'll be super excited. So are you married? So?
No,
No.
I'm divorced.
Okay.
I do have a boyfriend, and he actually bought the house next door. So I am now really officially the girl next door. I was like, we've been dating 3 years. You can't move in, but you can buy the house next door. That's close enough. That's as close as we can get.
Boundaries.
Yeah, because I'm just I mean, my boys up until just last month were still sleeping with me. Like, they're the men of the house, so I'm not bringing in another man in the house.
Yeah. But 3 years is a pretty good amount of time, to get to know someone. How long have you been divorced?
5.5, I think.
Yeah.
Five-ish.
Yeah. And was it hard, or was it a like amicable?
For the most part, it was amicable. And we co-parent very well.
That's good.
So that's good. And he's a great dad. Just not a great husband.
Yeah.
So
same.
Yeah.
So I know what that's like. So if what's it been like for you being a single mom, and like, did you kind of put your acting and Hollywood and all that kind of stuff like on a pause to just
I did
full-time
I had
mommy?
to.
Yeah.
Yep, I had to, because I wasn't able to then just take off anymore because before, dad was home, he'd stay home with the kids while I'd run off and do a movie. So I totally switched, and I had gotten my real estate license when I was 18. And so I went back into real estate here in Temecula and did that for almost, I'm still doing it, but for almost 5 years, because I needed to find a career that I can create my schedule and work around the kids' schedules basically. And even on the weekends when I was doing open houses, they would come with me, they'd help me set up my signs, they'd help pass out drinks, they would, they were always there helping
Little
me
helpers.
throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was great.
Team effort.
Yeah.
So did you sell to anybody that knew who you were? Did they recognize
you? Well, yes, at times. And plus my tagline was Brande, it was your celebrity realtor. So my website was yourcelebrityrealtor.com. So I kind of marketed myself that way.
Yeah. Might as
to
well be the first one to talk about it. Yep.
Might as well use it to my benefit. Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Do you like being out there in Temecula?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. It's a whole different, it's like home, like being up in Northern California, except better weather. Better, like we have all these fun restaurants, and we have a town called Old Town, and everybody here is so nice, friendly, great schools. It's a small big town. Feels like a small town, but it's kind of a big town. But yeah, I just love it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
And you get more for your money.
There's that,
Yes.
property up in Napa and stuff. It's just ridiculous.
Oh yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, there's, I went up there recently. It was probably like 3 years ago. We went up there for a work trip up to Napa, and it's beautiful. And the wineries and, the old ones, it just, the whole thing. But Temecula does have that, like, there is some life outside of the wineries.
And it's more lively. Like in Napa, it's more snobby wineries.
Yeah.
Whereas here it's fun. We have concerts. Like just the other night I went
to a Paso Robles. Reminds me. Yeah.
Even more lively. We had the Journey tribute band I went to just Saturday night. And we had so much fun. Oh my gosh. Like just bands, and then you're outside by the bonfire, and it's more things to do. We also have the casino, we have pachanga. It's just more lively wine country.
Like younger, right? Just that like more useful experience.
Families, girls, plus everybody comes here for like their bachelorette parties and bachelor parties, and going to have fun. And there's lots of weddings out here, so there's always wedding parties. It's fun.
Yeah. And so have you found more, what have you found moving physically and mentally really away from Hollywood for that period of time when your boys were real young and you were selling real estate? What did you gain from that?
From moving away from Hollywood? Well, personally, for me, when I was living in Hollywood or Los Angeles, it was, I was like in my 20s and early 30s, and it was just party time. I was just having so much fun, always going to events and going out like every night and having a good time, and of course working. So now I'm old. So that lifestyle for me is just, I now in a slower pace, which suits me better. But I know that Los Angeles has changed so much now because of the pandemic. It's like a ghost town. It's all boarded up now. It was, it was the best time ever, to live your life through the 20s and early 30s, in LA. It's great. But I couldn't, personally couldn't do it now. Because I prefer just the, smaller, slower, out in the country type lifestyle.
Yeah. And I think once you get a taste of that, like simpler, life, you get your hands dirty a little bit,
Oh yeah.
and what it takes to, really run a ranch and just all of that, which I have no idea. Like I would know, I'm sure I could figure it out, but I don't know what that's like. But once I figure, once you get a taste of that, man, you probably don't want to leave it. I wouldn't, Yeah.
Someday I will, I'm sure. Like when the kids graduate, I might just want to go on the water in Europe somewhere, a little tiny little whatever, villa or something. I don't know, because I'll be sick of it. I just I had a 13-acre wedding venue out here in wine country and ran that for 2.5 years. And finally I was just like, I'm freaking tired. I'm done. Like I can't run my ranch and a 13-acre wedding, but I was like, I was dying. So I'm just like, it was great and it was wonderful. But then I just sold it like last month. So
oh wow,
well, congratulations. Thank you.
So what kind of projects are you interested in doing now that you're
yeah,
you've got
so
that?
now
So that feels like maybe did it take up a lot of your space?
it did.
So
and I was
it,
removing that because I just wanted to focus now on producing the films. So put more focus on that because you can't, when you do too many things, then something's gonna slip, so I just needed more time to focus on the movies.
Yeah. So, what kind of projects are you looking to do now?
Well,
what are you interested in?
This one right now, the one we're doing is the horror film. That's the scary one. And it's a really cool movie that hasn't been done before. It's a cool story and it has to do with vineyards. And so yeah, we're in the process of getting that one together, and then we'll see from there what's next.
Yeah. So what's your involvement with the horror? Is it are you just producing, or were you involved in other ways?
Yeah, I'm going to be producing it, and I'm going to be starring in it as well. So we're looking for, and I'm one of the killers. And we're looking for my husband. But it's kind of, I'm trying to think of what style of movie it is. It has a little bit of comedy in it, I guess, because it's so like out there. But it's going to be good. It's going to be fun.
That's very exciting. And just for you, I mean, just to go from just these different stages of your evolution, what do you want to be doing? Like outside of that, I mean, what's the next thing for you?
I think this is my next thing, like coming back to my roots, coming back to my passion with acting.
Yeah.
I think that is what's next for the next chapter for maybe like the next 5 years or so.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably want to take a break again and, see what happens. So I'm going to work on the movies. I'm going to work on my wine, the wine project. And then, then we'll see kind of after that, I'll get bored of it again, and then I'll do something else. Like I'm always doing something, whether it's writing a book or something, there's something will happen. And
you're constantly reinventing yourself, which is what we have to do. Life happens and then we pivot, because it's not what we thought was going to happen. And we're like, all right, I guess let's head down a different path, right?
Absolutely. And I, even like with divorce, let's say, like that, my dream was to be married and live to be sitting on the front porch with your spouse and watching the grandkids play and all that. And that was always like the dream. And then when that didn't happen, it's like, okay, time to create a new dream. It's like, you just change the dream and create something new.
Yeah. I love that. Create a new dream. It's, if we get stuck on the outcome and then the outcome doesn't happen, if our identity, if our identity is tied to the outcome and then the outcome doesn't happen, it challenges our identity. So, depending on how big the challenge is, but if our identity is challenged, sometimes, it can be enough for us to create a new identity. And it sounds like you've done that a handful of times.
Yeah, you got to be open. You have to leave everything open and open to the world, to the universe, to whatever new changes might come and other opportunities, and just be willing to be open.
Yeah, exactly. So, so how did you meet Hugh Hefner? Or
Well,
how did you get introduced to Playboy? How about we'll start there?
okay, well, my mother
Mhm.
named me after a Playboy model. She saw this girl named Brande, spelled with an E, just like mine, in the magazine. And my name was actually going to be Tony. And then when she was 9 months pregnant, she was, huffing and puffing and sat down on her uncle's couch. And there was a Playboy magazine laying there. And she was, thumbing through it. So I knew this my whole life. Like, oh, you're named after this Playboy model, and I wanted you to be as beautiful as her, and this whole thing. So, it was kind of stuck in my head, I think. So I remember even when I was in fifth grade, was it fifth grade or fourth grade? I think it was fifth grade. The teacher asked me what everybody wanted to be, and I said I want to be a playmate. And I remember the teachers, I heard them talking like, "Oh, that little slut." And I was like in fourth or fifth grade, and I asked my mom, "What does slut mean?" And my mom was like, "Oh, what?" Anyway, so that was always
adults said this about you?
about a kid, a little fourth grader. Yeah. Can you
Yikes.
believe that?
Wow.
Times have changed. Can't do that now.
Thank God.
Can't be calling your students sluts, teachers.
No, you cannot.
Anyway, so I have, always had this, vision of, that I would be a Playboy playmate or whatever. So when I moved to Hollywood, a photographer friend of mine knew one of Hef's really good friends and said, I can get you up to the mansion, on movie night.
Yes.
And I was like,
good old movie night.
Oh my God. Like, this is like, oh my God, no way. So his friend, his name was Elliot, took me up to the mansion. This was when he was married to Kimberly. And I got introduced to him. It was during dinner. And I told him the story about my mom. And he took me into the library. And we were trying to look through all the magazines to find this girl. We never found it because we'd have to search forever. But it was just really neat and really sweet that he took the time and was excited to hear the story. And then we watched, the movie or whatnot. And then, I don't know if it was like 6 months or a year later. And that was it. That was the end of that. And then, I guess he got divorced or was going through his divorce, and he was out one night at Opium Den. Remember Opium Den? I don't know, you might've been too young for when that was around, but
I never went, but I heard
of it. Okay. So yeah, it was like the big place to go in Hollywood at the time. And I was there with some friends, and I saw him, and he was with Heather Kozar and Allison and Joel. And they were in there, and I saw him. I go, and I went, oh my gosh, hi. And then it was either Allison or Heather. One of them came out because they were in the little VIP area, came out to get me, bring me in. And I said, I'm the girl that, you met, that I said my mom was. And he's like, oh my God. And he's like, sit here with me. And I called my other girlfriend in, and we both sat with him all night long. And then from that point on, the rest is history. It was like, 2.5 years of, relationship, at that point. So that's where it all started. The Opium Den.
The Opium Den. He was, my biggest takeaway from Hef was just his, like his gentle demeanor. But he also, he carried around like a certainty about him, just the confidence, right? I mean, of course, but he just had this gentle confidence. He didn't have to be brash. He didn't have to be overpowering. He was very like stealthy with his, confidence.
For sure.
And he just was very gentle. And that's what I remember the most about him. The interactions that I had with him or whatever. But those was it movie nights or Sundays up there? Did you go?
Movie nights were Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah. We used to go on Sunday.
So that Sundays were the new movies. It was always the new release that was out in the theaters or just getting out in theaters. Friday and Saturday nights were old movie nights.
Old movies, yeah. I don't think we ever went up on a Friday or Saturday night to watch movies. We did go up on Sundays.
Yeah,
those were fun.
Yeah, wasn't it? It was the best. And then the buffet and the food and just going to the bar and the company and
like the naked girls running around, just like Sunday afternoon, in the pool, just topless. Like literally the Playboy Mansion is exactly what you would imagine the Playboy Mansion is. Like, it's not a farce. It's not like, it's not, I don't, I don't know if you could have it today. Right. It wouldn't have the same magic.
No,
There's social stuff going on that really wouldn't allow for it. And, there's all,
exactly.
yeah.
That's what
So
I always
it's a time
say.
capsule that needed to
Yes.
happen when it happened.
Thank God. I
Yeah.
mean, because it was the best of times
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't have, like you said, social media, camera phones, any of that stuff. So that's why you
Thank
had
God. I know.
Leonardo DiCaprio,
Uh-huh.
George Clooney, Jim
Mm-hmm.
Carrey, Cameron Diaz, everyone
Yeah.
partying, having a great
Yeah.
time because they didn't
Yeah.
have to worry about TMZ. We didn't have
No,
TMZs.
there
We
was
didn't
no
have any of that
TMZ.
shit.
Yep.
So
Nope.
we just had fun.
Just had fun,
It's the
uninhibited
best.
fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But
Yeah.
just that it wasn't a facade. It was like the real
Yeah.
deal. Like
Yeah.
there's everything there is what you see is what you get. And beautiful people and partying and amazing food and the
Yeah.
animals. Oh my God, the monkeys
Yeah.
and the
I
peacocks. And,
know.
it's just
Yeah.
like a wonderland,
Yep.
very adult wonderland.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it wouldn't, it couldn't happen today. There's
Yeah.
just, it wouldn't
I
happen.
know. Definitely
Today,
wouldn't.
today would have too many, elements that would, I don't know, just get in the way of it being that. It would be, there could be
Mhm.
maybe something different, but the
Yeah.
magic of,
Yeah.
spending New Year's Eve there, and
You
just
know.
all of it,
Yeah.
just
I
so much
know.
fun,
We got to just be thankful that we got to experience and be a part of it.
We totally did. We totally did.
Mhm.
And and after my ex and I broke up, you know, I didn't go back up there. I never went back up. And
Mhm.
even though I was in the magazine, I
Mhm.
technically could have gone up whenever I
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah.
But it was also, there was a bit of that, like, that I don't know what the way to put it, but it just didn't seem appropriate. I was like, this
Mhm.
is his place, these are his friends. He's been
Mhm.
coming here since he was
Yeah.
of age,
Yeah.
and these are kind of his grounds or whatever. So
Mhm.
I'm not gonna like encroach on it and try
Yeah.
and find my way there.
Uh-huh.
I was like, yeah, just let him keep it.
Right. It's like a
And
kind of a fine line, probably.
yeah, I would have had like that. It would have been okay for me to go. I'm sure they would have let me in. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Uh, that's the other thing that
Of
maybe some
course.
people don't know is like, to get in there, it was more than just being a pretty face. Like,
Yeah.
you had to know some people to know some people to know some
Yeah.
people. Like,
Yeah.
it just, I mean,
Yep.
unless he ran into you at a nightclub or something and it was just some kind of organic thing. If you wanted to get
Right.
up into the Playboy mansion,
Yeah.
it was not an easy thing. So
Yeah. You
yeah,
definitely had to know someone
you
for
definitely had to
sure.
know someone. But and as long as you didn't do anything to get kicked out, you could always come back. That was, the family atmosphere. I know it's adult and I know it's X-rated and I know all that, but really the meat and potatoes of Playboy was really a family atmosphere. People that had known each other for, decades, and people that were completely loyal to heaven. Like, especially like on Sundays. Uh I don't know, maybe there were, I don't, like I said, I didn't go Fridays or Saturdays, but on
Yeah,
Sundays when, these are like Hef's lifelong friends,
for sure. Yeah.
having Sunday like lunch and watching the movies and things like
Yeah.
that. So you got this idea that, he was very welcoming. But the people that he was surrounded with were people that were loyal to him, people that had just, had proven themselves for, decades. So the people
Yeah.
that he let into his inner circle, and so it felt really special, is what I guess what I'm trying
Yeah.
to get at. You
It
you
was.
go there and
Yeah.
you're surrounded by that, and it felt special. It was like,
Mhm.
oh, okay, he likes me too.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
He definitely created that very much a family environment.
Hmm.
And he was able to create that even with the girls, like
Yeah.
all the girls, it's like a sisterhood.
Mm.
And you just instantly feel like you're, a part of this sorority and it's a family. And even if there's girls like playmates that you had never met before, but
Hmm.
then when you do meet them, it's like, oh, like you're my sister,
Yeah.
it's like we're part of this group, this special, very special family.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely something that he was able to create.
And to not have it be catty, and to not have it be
Yeah,
competition, and it not to have
yeah,
it be that way, but like, we're all tens. So,
Yeah.
don't even worry about it. We're all tens. How was
That's
your,
great.
how did the Playmate of the Year,
Mhm.
what was that experience like for you?
That was very exciting.
Mhm.
I was was it the first Baywatch girl to be Playmate of the Year?
Mm.
I think it was, yeah, first Baywatch girl to be Playmate of the Year. And when we were home on hiatus from Baywatch, I got a call from Marilyn Grabowski,
Mm.
and I was with Stacey Kamano, who I was on the show with. She was my roommate,
Mm.
and she called and she said, "Hi, darling, how would you like to become Playmate of the Year?" Because
Oh my
she
God.
talks, she sounded like
Yeah.
him.
Mm-hmm. I know.
And I was like, "What? Yes! Oh my God!" And got off the phone. I screamed to Stacy. She was in the bathtub. She jumping up and down naked, and we're all excited. And back then, again, when I was Playmate of the Year, we got to travel. So we went to
Mm.
St. Bart's first class,
Mm.
stayed in this beautiful villa overlooking the
Amazing.
ocean. It was just an amazing experience. I got to travel the world.
Mm.
And then later on, it was different for the girls. They didn't have all that exciting stuff. It was like, oh, just shoot in the studio in LA.
Right.
But so for me, I was in that era that was just so exciting to be a part of Playboy.
Mm.
But it was very, very exciting, and it was a stepping stone for me. It always has
Yeah.
been. It's
Yeah.
being a Playmate was my stepping stone to getting Baywatch. I feel like Baywatch got me Playmate of the Year, then Playmate of the Year got me, everything
Mm-hmm.
else. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, yeah, it was awesome. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Did you ever
Mhm.
shoot at the studio in LA? The one in
Yes.
Santa Monica?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I did
Yeah.
mine.
Because yes. So, I shot my centerfold there for my
Mm-hmm.
Playmate
Mm.
issue. And then we shot in Northern California for the actual Playboy magazine. And then my Playmate of the Year, we went to St. Bart's, but Marilyn, she's so particular. When we got back, she's like, "I hate all these pictures. I want you to reshoot." And I'm like, "What?" So we reshot a lot of stuff. So originally I was with Arnie in St. Bart's,
Mm-hmm.
Arnie, and then we came back and I shot with Steve Wada in the studio.
Yeah.
So I have pictures from the studio and St. Bart's in my Playmate of the Year pictorial.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Steve Wada did mine as well. Such a
I
great,
love me some Steve Wada.
yeah, such a great, incredible photographer. But
Yeah.
I have to
Yeah.
say that my experience was they really made me feel feminine, and they really made me feel beautiful. And before you know
Yeah.
it, you're naked, and
Yeah.
and then you're naked for hours. And then it doesn't even matter anymore. Maybe you start off
Yeah.
with a robe on, but after a while you're
Yeah.
just in your lingerie, just walking around with text and
Right.
lighting. And it becomes very, and they're very good at that, getting you past your threshold of,
Or I think it could have been the tequila.
yeah, maybe. I wasn't allowed to drink back then.
What's that?
I wasn't allowed to drink back then.
Why? Why?
I wasn't allowed to drink.
By who?
Oh,
Yourself or by
no,
somebody told you?
by somebody else. Yeah.
Your
So,
ex-husband?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I wasn't allowed to drink.
Well,
Well,
it would have helped take
it
the
would have
edge off.
helped. It would have helped. Absolutely. 100%.
I did on my test shoot. I think they gave me a bottle of champagne for my
Mm-hmm.
test shoot, and then all the other shoots I'd always get just take a shot of tequila or something, just to warm me up and woohoo.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm sure I think that there was champagne offered, but I'm 11 years sober now, and there's a reason, there's a reason. So it wasn't
so
just
it was a good influence then, and him
I
saying that.
I think that the intention behind it was good.
Okay.
So, just I was never really somebody to take one shot of tequila. I'm like 7 shots of tequila, and then I've made a mess,
Yeah.
so you don't want that on your Playboy shoot.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a mess. You don't want to be
Yeah,
sloppy
no,
and
definitely not.
No.
They're
So
like, oh, they were like, we can't use these pictures, ma'am.
she's drooling. This isn't sexy. That's a totally different magazine.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
funny.
overall my Playboy experience, before being in the magazine, after being in the magazine. I was supposed to I was supposed to have the cover, and I don't know, politics, whatever stuff happens. And it was like a tennis star that year or whatever it was. And, and that's not the way whatever. It wasn't the way it was presented to me, and whatever. And I kind of got my feelings hurt. I got my feelings hurt. I didn't kind of, and have found out about it. And he felt, I mean, he felt really bad. He had no idea that I was expecting it. And he also, so he actually wrote an apology letter.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh.
I know.
That's amazing.
I know. So he actually,
class, right?
I know, totally to make me not feel, I don't know, kind of brushed to the side. Right. So, I mean, the final product didn't turn out the way that I was expecting kind of at all. We had like a whole concept, and I don't know what happened, but it just kind of, whatever. There's a lot of, well, there were a lot of people to say yes and yay and nay to things, and by the time it made it to him, but so, but I have it's actually a framed apology letter from him, I'm sure not too many people have those, because he probably didn't wrong very many people. Not that he wronged me, but you know what I mean? Yeah. So he probably didn't have to write a lot of apology letters. So we'll have to send it to the Smithsonian, and they can
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and then about the surreal life, let's talk about, and these are old, right? These are, for the viewers and the listeners, we're talking about 20-year-old shows and 20-year-old things, but I mean, they were just talk about that time capsule, the beginning of reality TV and the beginning of celebrity reality TV. I mean,
that was like the very first one.
Yeah.
That was the very first celebrity reality TV show. Pretty crazy, right? Because now it's like everywhere.
Yeah. Now it's like everything has an iteration with celebrity attached to it, So, what was that like for you? Did you enjoy that experience?
Oh, I had so much fun. Yeah. I mean, I was
well, you didn't get picked on at all. So it was probably easier for you.
Yeah, I didn't get picked on. But to be able to, I mean, I grew up like idolizing like MC Hammer, like that was my jam, like that was just, so to hang out and live with MC Hammer, that was the coolest part, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like we had like this special family dynamic, because you watch these shows now, even the ones, the surreal lives after ours, they're all assholes to each other, and they're screaming, and it's crazy, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, there was of course some emotional parts with Corey or whatever, but he's an emotional person, so it's going to happen. But I feel like we're all still great friends. We all, created these wonderful relationships, had a fun time, and great memories.
I mean, and yeah, me too. You and I are still like, I wasn't even technically on the show, and we're still, friends with each other. So it was a very, it was a unique little, dynamic between everybody. It was such a cool cast, and, just everybody was, that was a great, it was just, for me, it was a super surreal experience.
And that's like why the name for the show is so perfect, because it really was surreal.
Well, and some of the later casts were extra surreal, like weird, throw people together, all that.
There was weird shit, like people pulling out knives and like screaming and this and that, and I mean, just craziness, right? So
I mean, free alcohol, and producers. So, you get producers in there that are like, starting shit between people that, because that's what sells, right? That's what raises the ratings, is drama. And, it's funny because on your season, there was like organic drama. You like didn't need to produce the drama.
Right.
And it wasn't over the top either. It wasn't like, oh, this is so, dramatic.
Right.
But, because later we did the 2 Corys on A&E, and I had the experience of what it was like. I remember talking with Corey Haim ahead of time, and it was my ex-husband, and we sat down with Corey Haim, and we were like, okay, we need to make a pact that we are not going to let these producers get in between us, and we're not going to let them antagonize us, and we're not going to let them, like, we all have to remember that we're all friends, and that no matter what, we're real people that are real friends that, yes, we're doing this TV show, but no matter what they say, no matter no matter what kind of ways they try and pit us against each other, it's not real. It's just TV.
Right.
Because that's what happens.
Exactly. Yep. And if you can kind of understand that going into it, then I think you could have a success. But I think when people don't understand the business and don't understand that, that's when it gets messy.
Super messy. I mean, it ended up getting messy anyway. I mean, we had that pact and it ended up turning into kind of a total mess anyway.
Oh shit. Damn it.
Yeah. So well, you're balancing kind of a lot. Okay, you've got movies. You have one that just wrapped, and you've got one that you're coming up, right? And you've got 2 boys and a boyfriend, a neighbor boyfriend, and a wine. And a ranch. How do you find time for Brande?
Oh, I don't think I have time for Brande. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's a tough one. I think that for me, working on like my passion projects, like doing the movies and doing the wine, I think that's like time for Brande, because now I'm finally able to do things that I enjoy as far as career goes. But I definitely I play hard too. Like I'm definitely a work hard, play hard person. Like I said, I just went to that Journey concert the other night. It was a tribute band, but still, that was the other night. I make time to go out with my girlfriends, and we had an absolute blast. And then when my kids go to their dads, I'll do stuff like that. And then also even just staying home. I get to get on my little corner of my couch, watch what I want to watch, eat my popcorn, eat my mac and cheese, eat my chocolate peanut butter ice cream, whatever it might be, drink my wine, whatever, and just do what I want to do. And I do that. And it sounds like that could be like a boring thing, or what some people
sounds
do
awesome, actually.
Anytime, right? But for me, it's like, oh, it's my time, all by myself, So I enjoy that
I
too.
can just imagine you curled up on a couch with a blankie and ice cream, and that sounds amazing.
That is what I did that last night. I watched 2 Christmas movies.
There you go.
I love my silly, cheesy Christmas movies.
Oh, it's the season for it. Now it's a free for all on the cheesy Christmas movies.
No, there's so many. Oh
there
my gosh.
Are.
I just saw A Castle Christmas is a good new one, guys, with Brooke Shields. And that is one that if you guys like Christmas movies, you should watch.
A Castle Christmas. Sure. Is it Hallmark?
It was Netflix.
Oh, it was Netflix. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I really liked it. And my boyfriend was like, why? What's that one about? Or whatever. I go, well, she falls in love with this duke in Scotland in a castle. And he's like, oh, so realistic. And I'm like, hey, that could really happen.
Did you see Meghan Markle? Hello.
Right, exactly. It could totally happen.
It could totally happen. It's happened. Princess Diana,
exactly.
but Meghan Markle even more so. She was an American. She wasn't even, intermingling with that whole, royal crowd, and it totally happened.
Exactly. It could totally happen.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, that sounds to me like, just even the carving out the time, and just slowing down and doing some things that kind of feed your spirit. And sometimes it takes chocolate peanut butter ice cream to feed your spirit. Yeah. Totally. In like silence, just watching your movie and, and to not just have, I hear what you're saying, that you love your boys, and I'm sure that I know, because I love having mine around too.
Yeah.
But when they're not there, and you can take off the mom hat for a little bit, and just not have to worry about them, constantly.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And just, calm down your kind of your mom nervous system, the one that's like worried or having to kind of be on all the time for them,
So, and almost feeding your own like inner kid,
Seriously.
I mean, this is going to sound so funny, but the other night when I had my alone time, when they went with their dad, I was like, it had been a while since I had that. So I was like, oh, I'm excited. So I was watching all my shows. I was catching up on The Voice.
Yeah.
And again, I had my popcorn, I had my wine, and all these songs are coming on. I literally just got up off the couch and just started dancing. Every
That's
song that came
amazing.
on that I loved, I was dancing. I'm dancing around, woo, spinning around, hoping no one could see in my windows. And I was spinning around, and my dog starts jumping up on me. I'm like, stop it, leave me alone. I'm dancing. But I mean, just even silly stuff like that, like no one's watching, like that whole phrase, dance like no one's watching. And that's what I did. And I just had fun by myself, my own party.
Yeah. And then afterwards, how good did you feel?
Good, great. I just, woke up and refreshed that I had that night to myself and danced.
Yeah, it's this like, I don't know if you want to even call it balance, but it's like this balancing act of like, okay, we got career, we got work, we got money, and we got kids, and we got boyfriend, but then we also have girlfriends. That thing that we get by spending time with our girlfriends is that's unique, right?
You have to have that.
You do. And alone time, you got to have that. You got to recharge from all of that, and then the creative outlets. I really believe that creative outlets like this thing that we're doing right now is one of my creative outlets. And you got to have it. You got to have that just to open up your heart that way and be creative and collaborative. And, I get so much out of that, personally. And so,
absolutely,
your movies and things like that. Are you into writing, like scripts or anything like that?
At one point in my life, I wrote a book, and I used to, when I was a little kid, write songs, and I wrote some comedy, a cartoon comedy at one point, script.
Yeah.
So at some point I might do that again, but that takes a lot, and right now I found someone that wrote the script that I really want to do. So we're working on that. But I mean, there could be a point when I do that as well. That could be the next journey, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would be your biggest, what's your biggest takeaway? Your biggest takeaway from motherhood?
Trying to live in the moments, as much as possible, and not letting it pass by, because it does go so fast, right? So for me, I try to be present as much as possible, and give lots of hugs and love, and just trying to be present and being in the moment. That's what I really try to do, because it's just going, it goes so
fleeting,
fast, as you know.
And how about love after divorce?
I feel that, I don't know how this is going to sound, but I feel that people can always find love, always, after every relationship. There's always love out there for everybody. So for me, I just, like we were saying, creating a new dream, kind of like it's going to be a new relationship and a new love, because my heart is so big, and everybody's hearts are big, and can always find love. I think that there's not like only one love for somebody. If somebody gets divorced, they can move on and find somebody else that's going to be even better for them. Because I tell this to my stepdaughters all the time. I said, each person that you date, that you break up with, or that breaks up with you, the next one's going to be better, because you learn from your mistakes, and you learn what not to do and what you really want. And as you age, you learn even more what you want in life. And I feel that it's I don't want to say it's easy, but I mean, just open your heart. You can find love 100%. After every relationship. Don't worry, there's another one out there.
There are. Thank God, I have to, I learned so much from my first marriage, and it really prepared me for my husband, and really put me in a better position. Just everything I learned, all the good and the bad and everything, just so that I could show up with someone new just from a very different, just a very different place.
Yes.
And and just have a completely different experience, which is,
you're getting out of it, becoming a stronger person.
Yeah. Exactly. So you have stepdaughters, the plural?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So from my ex, they're all grown now. And I even have a granddaughter. My oldest stepdaughter has a 3-year-old and she's 28. And then the middle one is 27, almost 27. And the youngest is 24. So yeah.
I have a 21-year-old stepdaughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. It's like,
yeah, because now you'll be able to have that, when she gets married or, all the girl, you can still do all the girl kind of stuff.
Yeah. Because I didn't get to do that, obviously with Zen, and she's like the daughter that I never had, and she's such a good girl, and she's just got a really good head on her shoulders. She's a sweetheart. And the stepmother, I don't know, myth or whatever. I just thought, like, I didn't like my stepmom. I had a stepmom when I was really little, and the way she was with my dad, I just, didn't like her. And so I was like, oh, am I going to be a bad stepmom? And then I don't know. It just depends on who you are when you become one, and then also the kid, and then also her mother, and there's all these various
there's a lot of moving parts to it, but I think a lot of it has to do with you, the stepmom, because you're a sweet good person, I'm a sweet good person. When people are really nice and caring and putting the kids first and not trying to like be all about the dad or whatever, that makes a huge difference. And I think that's where you have a good relationship. It's all, from the stepmom, and when you have evil stepmoms, that's why, the girls don't like, stepmoms if they're not good stepmoms. But when you're a sweet, nice, caring, big-hearted person, you're going to have a good relationship. And then my boyfriend now has a 6-year-old daughter.
Oh, okay.
So, and he has full custody. So she calls me mom, and like we live right next door to each other. So the kids just go back and forth all the time, and the boys and her call each other brother and sister. And at school, everybody knows, they're brother and sister. And the boys look out for her. So
I have to. I'm a little jealous of your chance to be a girl mom. When they're that little. But I'm waiting for I'm waiting for a long time. I don't want one anytime soon. But a granddaughter. Oh my
maybe
God,
10 years.
10 years.
Zen will be 27.
Yeah, and my stepdaughter will be 31. That'll probably be the time she'd want to have kids anyway. So yeah, I got some time.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You have time for sure.
Totally. Well, I have to say that this has been a really lovely hour for me. I'm so grateful that you said yes to coming on here and carving out some time to chat with me and catch me up to speed with everything you've got going on.
It's so good to see you.
Yeah. It's really good to see you too. I know your beautiful face. It feels like no time has passed, but I know a lot has,
I know, right? It's crazy.
It's a weird sensation, but yeah. So one more time, can you tell me the name of your Christmas movie? Because I want people to check it out because it's streaming. It's out now.
Yep. Out now. Ace and the Christmas Miracle.
Ace and the Christmas Miracle.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
And
well, thanks, Susie.
Yeah, thank you. And you guys can find Brande on Instagram and Facebook and all those good places just by her name. She's got the little blue verified check, so she's easy to find. But all right. Thank you so much.
Bye,
thank you. Bye guys.
We'll see you later.
We'll see you guys next week. This has been another awesome episode of My Best Life with Susannah. I'm Susannah. This has been Brande, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Glutathione is a big word. It's the body's own master antioxidant. It's a scavenger for free radicals, bacteria, and viruses. There are no products in the market with the ingredient Nasset. Nasset increases the production of glutathione that's in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system, elevate sense of well-being, support muscle strength and endurance, cognitive function, and liver support. It helps with increased energy and blood sugar regulation. Get your bottle of GSH Plus from www.salvationnutra.com.